So you mean to tell me Drake comes out May 15th, but a week before that, Chris Brown comes out May 8th? You mean to tell me Drake comes out May 15th, and 7 days before that is Chris Brown? You're talking about, I need to repeat this. I need people to understand the magnitude of what we're talking about here. I like there's a lot of serious stuff in this world, right? There's a lot of serious stuff in the world. The shit that's happening in Iran. I don't know how Ukraine's doing recently. I haven't really checked in on them. Cancer, that's pretty serious. Death in general, that's pretty serious. But this right here is pretty serious, right? Because like there's serious bad things and then there's serious good things. This is a serious good thing. This is a serious good thing where, you need to schedule this shit. I know a lot of people have busy agendas nowadays. Oh, you probably have another baby shower to go to this weekend. Oh, whose birthday is it? Huh? Are we done with weddings yet? Are we done with weddings yet? I'm just wondering. I'm 31. I don't know how you are. I'm getting texts from, sorry. Yeah, I need to be more professional. Are we done with weddings yet? That's also a good series. This right here might be the best good series we've been talking about in recent months, honestly. Drake comes out May 15th. He did the whole ice block thing in Toronto, which is, honestly pretty cool. And then just yesterday or 2 days ago, Chris Brown releases on his Instagram that his album Brown is releasing May 8th. And this kind of makes sense, right? It's just in time for the joint world tour with Usher, and they're calling it the R&B tour. But you don't understand. We're talking about the greatest, probably greatest rapper. Probably greatest rapper. I'm not saying he's the most skilled rapper, right? Like we've talked about this, right? He's not Kobe. He's not shooting 60% from the elbow. But this guy is LeBron. And what a perfect time to talk about this while, the Lakers are currently up 3-2, which, they might blow to the Rockets. And you see this 41-year-old that's been doing this shit since I was in probably middle school, dominating, carrying all these dudes and just being like, hey, don't worry. I'm going to put y'all on my back and we're going to make it to the promised land. 41 years old, this dude is still doing this. And every single time I see this shit, I'm just nodding my head. Because he may not be the greatest shooter, the greatest dunker, the greatest passer, the greatest this, but he damn sure is the greatest athlete. As far as longevity, he's probably top 5 in most categories as far as points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. You're talking about the greatest rapper of all time as far as metrics. And then you're talking about the greatest R&B singer of all time as far as metrics. Both releasing albums back-to-back weeks. The only thing that would make this better, if there was some beef, if there was some drama, or maybe this is the plan. Maybe during the could you imagine during the Usher and Chris Brown tour, Drake comes out? This, like I'm telling you, we're living in 2016 times. This is what summer is all about. This is what summer's all about. I understand people were posting all that stuff about, summer 2016. Look at what I look like in summer 2016. And I understand people want to talk about, this was better times. This was better times. Look at who our president was. I'm pretty sure it might have been Trump, but look, the world was so much better. The world was so much better. This was the world before AI. It's like, no. This was the world before you gained 30 pounds. The summer 2016 was a great time. Don't get me wrong. But this summer, you can, in 2036, you can look back at this summer and be like, holy shit, this was a great time. I have a kid. I'm not really going to be going to any raves or anything like that. But in my head, I'm kind of thinking about doing a whole, what's it called? Not an album release party because it's not my album, like a listening party. A listening party. I think this shit's a little underrated. I always saw this thing kind of like floating around on Twitter and stuff like that, where people would, when a big artist would release an album, they get together, and it's not like you sit there and kumbaya in a circle and listen to the music, but it's like a thing. You make time for it to appreciate the greatness. People were getting together all the time to watch The Bachelorette. Why can't I put a charcuterie board out for Drizzy Drake Rogers? Why can't I pour up some mimosas for Chris Breezy Too Easy? And now I don't know what to do. Next week is Chris Brown. The week after that is Drake. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Chris Brown fan. But man, you can't have 2 listening parties. That's too much. People have too much going on. Mother's Day is around the corner. It's Cinco de Mayo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. My name is Ajay Patel, and man, I'm telling you, I may sound a little giddy. Because I may have a little pep in my step. Da-doom, da-doom, doom, da-doom, doom, 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 da-doom. But this like, I am being serious with this. Where like there is not a lot of things that you know like you see on the news or you see on your feed and you're like, oh nice, like oh shit, I'm looking forward to that. You know, obviously if you're in your college years, you're living life. You're young Klay Thompson out there. But in these years, you know, you're thinking about responsibilities. You're thinking about conquering the world. You're thinking about, okay, how do I get to this $1 million thing? How do I get more money? How do I figure out how to live more, be better? How do I get my health back in shape? How do I look like what I looked like in 2016? So stuff like this, like, you know, stuff like music releasing, movies releasing, TV shows, it really does kind of just make this whole journey of life just, you know, just butters it out. Like what's the point of having toast with no butter? The other day, my friends Bincy and Mithin, they came over and they said, wow, you put butter on banana bread? I said, holy shit, you've been eating this dry ass banana bread without butter? Oh, you know, but banana bread's supposed to be moist. Most of the time it's not. I'm not putting a cup of mayonnaise when I'm doing the wet mixture. You have to have butter for this journey, bro. I'm avoiding saying lube, but you know what I mean. You want to make this shit smooth. And as of recently, we've had some good TV. We've had some good movies be on the docket. Everyone's talking about this new Michael Jackson movie. I still have yet to see it, but you know, I'm probably not going to the theaters anytime soon. The Runner 2 came out, The Revenge. I still haven't been able to see it. The torrent version I have, you can hear people clapping in the background. I really don't want to watch that. The Boys is back. Invincible was solid. Everyone's talking about Euphoria. I'm kind of getting into it if I'm not lying to you. What's some other shit that's come out? The Apple TV, Ted Lasso trailer dropped. I'm watching Your Neighbors and Friends. I just finished Shrinking. Netflix shit. I mean, they always have some bullshit, but I watched Beef. Now you talk about the movie side. Oh, we got to get excited for the movies, right? We just mentioned Michael. Oh, now we have, this is an Avengers year, right? So all that shit's coming out. Spider-Man year. This is what makes this shit kind of just enjoyable, much more pleasurable, right? Like enjoying the arts for what it is instead of always focusing on, remember I told you guys like how much it's like people don't tell stories anymore. People don't talk about what they did. People don't say, oh yeah, I watched this movie. It was great. Oh my gosh, level of this, the directing, the production, the script writing, the acting. You enjoy the arts. Oh my gosh, I went to an art museum. Oh, I did this. Oh, I went to an aquarium. It was absolute shit. You have to talk about this stuff versus like, oh, you know, you already know. Oh my gosh, can you believe Trump spending all this money on this and that and this and that? I've stopped responding at this point. Because look, I get it. Trump has been doing all that, this and there, and it's like, hey, this is this is different, but like, this is all bullshit, bro. It's all smoke and mirrors. We the everydayers, our lives aren't affected too much by a lot of what they do. Oh, but look at your 401k. Nah, no, thank you. I don't really care. I don't really care about how much money I'm going to have when I'm 60. I'm trying to figure out how much money I have now. Because the money I have now, I can dance with. I can move with. I can shake, ta-ta, left, right with it. 60? I don't care about. All you do is you match whatever percentage your company is giving you and you call it a day. You don't need to be doing double that. Put that money in your pocket. Get taxed now. Who cares? Figure it out now. This journey, this is what life's all about. You enjoy it. You talk about this shit. You hang out with each other. Hey, you want to go do this? Hey, this album came out. Should we have a party around it? You just need these excuses. Our homie J Street came over Tuesday, and we were like, "Oh, we got to celebrate your birthday." And she's like, "Nah, no thanks. And it's like, hey, it's really not about you. It's really not about you. We need something for the journey. Because week to week, we're just changing diapers. We're wondering why this girl is hollering like this. She sounds like a pterodactyl now. She's cute as hell. Don't get me wrong. I'm beyond blessed. Knock on wood. Praise God. Praise Jesus. This baby's cute as hell, but she's really making pterodactyl sounds. And it's like, hey, what happened to mama, dada? Huh? What happened to that? Instead, it's like, we need something to celebrate. It's about having fun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 101. No, seriously, on the Chris Brown Usher thing, I don't know who had any luck getting tickets for that shit, but it's kind of insane because I did get in line and I was like number 150,000th. And obviously I didn't sit there waiting for that to happen. But even I did have a couple of friends that did get in line, and they said it was nothing but resale. And then, the VIP tickets, which probably run in the four figures. And like a week before that, you have this whole Ticketmaster Live Nation thing, guilty of kind of using competitive pricing to overcharge fans, right? So to increase fees to, let's say 15, 30, whatever percentage it is versus competitors. And you use that to kind of just drive out competition, right? Because if you own the ticket market, who the hell cares what StubHub's doing over there? You are the person that these venues have to go through, right? If Chris Brown's coming to Houston and he's doing NRG Arena. No, sorry, what's the stadium? NRG Arena. NRG has a thing with Ticketmaster, or whatever group is running that thing out of NRG, because obviously NRG is just the place that the thing is held. They have a deal with Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster ends up selling all those tickets. Then you see the resale market kind of trickle all over into other things like Gamecast, StubHub, SeatGeek. StubHub, yeah. But nothing's going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like even if they got caught for that shit's still a monopoly, right? It'd be one thing if like there were bids, like if NRG Stadium had to go out and say, hey, you know what? We're taking bids for who will sell these tickets for us. But then you run into this issue of like what the streaming world looks like now, where I've been watching the NBA playoffs, and I'm an overspender. I've subscribed to pretty much everything. I have certain credit cards that can pay for, whatever YouTube premium, this and that. But it's like, it doesn't matter, right? I'm still paying for it. Before, I used to pay, let's say, whatever it was, $60 a month for cable TV. And all the time I'll have TNT, ESPN, ABC, and maybe sometimes TBS. And every single time there will be NBA games on there. Now, before there were the networks that used to compete for that. Now it's a full-on different streaming services. So then you run into this issue of someone that may have, YouTube TV and HBO Max and Prime Video, but they don't have Peacock. So now they can't watch those games. And then and so that's what I kind of see. If this were to become a bidding thing, right? If the ticket world were to become a bid first agency, to say, okay, you know what? Whenever an NRG Stadium has an event and they're about to sell tickets, does it go to StubHub to be the primary ticket giver or seller, vendor, Ticketmaster, SeatGeek? But then the same thing, right? Everyone now has to figure out like, oh, okay, this one's releasing here, this one's releasing there, this one's releasing there, and that's just a fucking headache. I really don't. I kind of like that everything goes through Ticketmaster. I kind of like having one avenue for things. But it's still a monopoly. American Airlines and United Airlines, we're talking about doing a merger. What the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck wants that? I'm using foul language. I apologize. It's Thursday morning, but who wants that? it's like it's become this fight of debt consolidation, right? Oh, American Airlines is probably losing X million amount of money. United Airlines is probably losing X million amount of money. How do we get these groups together so then we can lose less money together, and then try to really optimize routes, right? Optimize routes is what they'll say. Oh, now we have a hub in Houston. Now we have a hub in DFW. Okay, we'll cut out flights by 30%, so we'll save 40% on overhead. And it's like, all of this shit is not oftentimes the fault of the consumer, right? Earlier when I was talking about, people always talk about like politics, this and that. You should be talking about the arts. You should be talking about, enjoying life a little bit more. The other thing that people talk about a lot is traveling. And I'm trying to stay on the chord of, I know you're probably wondering like, where are you going with this? Is like, it's all a scam. It's all a scam, right? Like I knew going into that Ticketmaster, Live Nation, Chris Brown, Usher thing, Ticketmaster line, I knew I was like, this isn't going to work. This is already some bullshit. Some groups have figured out this whole like, how do we deal with scalpers and how do we deal with people reselling this stuff? The sneaker market has had to deal with it quite a bit. And I really enjoy the sneakers app because they do a whole raffle system. You kind of bid a place in line. But of course, there's a lot of bullshit probably behind that I'm not seeing as someone that isn't consuming as much. Now it gets back to the airlines. Like what I'm talking about is we see how much people are already traveling, right? How much people are already consuming in this field. And even then, these two giant companies, we're talking about doing a merger. Now, luckily, that shit's ended, but they're talking about doing a merger. They were talking about doing a merger. And it's like, how much of this shit is just becoming a scam? I remember back in the day when Singular and AT&T did their merger, and it was like, what's happening here? Probably similar stuff. Obviously, I didn't care about it much at that time because I was more worried about my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had this real good strategy back then. I used some DNA trap card with insect barrier. So then all your monsters became insects and you couldn't even attack me. So now you got to wait till you can summon Jinzo and then my trap card gets negated and then I'm screwed. But you couldn't do anything once I had that 2-card combo out. A lot of people like to use Relinquished. A lot of people like to use the whole Blue Eyes route. Me, myself, I was focused. I didn't really care about what was happening with Singular and ATT mergers. I worked at a company called Neiman Marcus. And week to week, I was in data analytics, and week to week, I would constantly see how much, because you do things on a versus last year basis, I would constantly see how much we were behind. And, on top of that, you'd have to create some type of strategy, right? As far as saying like, oh, you know what? Prada isn't selling because it's not getting traffic to the website, or Gucci or Louis Vuitton shoes aren't selling because there's no inventory in stores, or there's no inventory in the warehouse at all. If you go to the website, all you see is all these, size 13 shoes. Women aren't buying that, right? What's the average size you see? Maybe about, ranges from about 6 to 9 ish. 6 to 8, honestly, if we're being real specific. And I saw the bleed happening. Which was strange because at the same time, we were also hiring. And then eventually what happens is you get caught with your pants down, right? COVID happens. A couple of years go by. You do the whole filing for bankruptcy, debt consolidation. You shut down a bunch of stores. You shut down the offices. How do you slowly bring that red line back up? How do you slowly bring that red line back up to hopefully enter green one day? Oh, okay. The next thing that we cut, which is the big expenditure, is people. Slowly, people get cut. Obviously, we've seen this as so many companies where they'll have this group call and then they'll just fire everyone on there. It's the best way to save money. It's unfortunate. I hope to never be in those shoes where I'm some CEO of some company that has to cut, half my workforce. That's a lot of working people. That's a lot of families to feed. And then I eventually got the boot. And then I think maybe a year or two later, they do a merger with Saks Fifth Avenue, and they become Saks Global, I believe. Saks probably ran into the same issue. Any luxury retailer probably ran into the same issue. And okay, you know what? Why not Nordstrom? Nordstrom, I don't know if they're a publicly traded company, but the reason I believe in Nordstrom is because they can keep their price down. Between Nordstrom Rack and Nordstrom, they can bridge that gap between luxury and then the common consumer. I'm probably still in that. I would like to say I'm an upper common consumer, where I'll buy luxury very, very rarely, but I'm also not looking for, the bottom of the barrel. I'm also not shopping at H&M Forever 21 anymore. I still dabble in the express world, I'm still buying some Uniqlo shirts, as you can see I have on now. But I'm looking for, okay, you know what? If it's $50 for a t-shirt, maybe I am more comfortable spending that now. Versus before, it's like, where's that $14.99 at? So Nordstrom's able to bridge that gap of having a lower price point to widen their customer pool. Saks and Neiman probably ran into that same issue. I'm getting into a real deep dive here, but I'm just giving a story now at this point of how much this is all kind of a scam. Them two get in bed together. They become Saks Global. And they basically recast the entire C-suite with the people that were at Neiman. More specifically, the people that were at Bergdorf Goodman, a subsidiary of Neiman Marcus. Now they are the C-suite. And they do the whole song and dance, and they start doing the, hey, you know what? We're on better road. Doom, 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 doom. Moving on up, hey, moving on up, hey. They're doing that dance on LinkedIn, on obviously they have a lot of public forums, and they like to say, okay, we've solved the issue because now we're getting inventory back, which is the big problem, right? So two big problems with what I see in luxury retail. One, how do you get half of that shit from Paris, France, Albania, wherever the hell it's coming from, over to your warehouse? Even crazier now with the world of tariffs. And then the other thing being the world of tariffs, the price point, bringing stuff over. Oh, and now everything has become like a more specific. People have become more brand tailored. So if you're buying Christian Louis Vuitton, you're going to that store. If you're buying, what's another retailer that people really liked? Not Vera Bradley. That's the lower side. Let's say why can't I think? Okay, let's go with the basics, right? If you're a Burberry shopper, there's now boutique stores more specifically tailored to Burberry, right? You go into a mall, you see Burberry, you see Gucci, you see Louis Vuitton, you see I know so many brands. That's what's kind of killing me right now. But you see these more specific brands there. You don't have to go to the quote unquote big box, right? You don't have to go to Macy's to buy Nike. You can now just go to the Nike store. So you don't have to go to Neiman Marcus, or you don't have to go to Saks to buy these luxury brands. You can just go to these stores. And so there's no way that this whole song and pony moving on up works. And so it's all like sometimes I just get appalled at like it is all a scam. And I've realized that probably quite a while ago, a lot more during probably COVID time. But that's why I have kind of made it my mindset of just like, fuck it. I will become part of the scam. I will be part of the scam. I don't really mind the Minnesota raids that are happening right now. If I ran a daycare company, I would have done the same thing. I'm not saying I'm doing anything illegal, but I'm just saying I wouldn't mind someone that's doing that. I'm not saying you should be killing people or hurting people, but the system is designed not to oppress, but the system is still a system. How do you get into the system and figure out how to navigate it, how you see best fit for you and your family without getting into any criminal activity? People talk about, these billionaires got to pay their taxes. Bro, what are you talking? Grow up. You should have seen, almost gave up the tea there. But I didn't even mean to spiral into that. I literally have Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion on my notes. The point is if you have any Chris Brown Usher tickets, holla at your boy. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy them. I don't really know where we're going to live whenever that tour comes around in August, October, November. But on to the next. Speaking of some scams. Who did anyone look? I normally talk about shit I see on my timeline. You know, like it's like, okay, I saw this on my feed. I should talk about this. The more and more I'm seeing it, more likely I should talk about it. Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Now, Klay Thompson, NBA player, Megan Thee Stallion, rapper, songwriter. The internet is up in arms against our boy Klay Thompson. I'm trying to be so careful because, you know, after the Rena episode, I might have some more female listeners, and I'm not trying to offend anyone here. I am a girl's guy. I am a guy's girl. I'm a girl's guy. I'm here for you guys and girls. Apparently, look, when this relationship started, you know, everyone were talking about, oh, it's only going to be like this. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. And it was real weird, you know, when people are always commenting on these public relationships. But I get it. You know, you're in the public eye. You're going to get commented on. You are the news. You are something that people will click on and listen to. If I talk about Klay Thompson, oh, will this relationship last, right? It's the whole TMZ route. It's the TMZ science of it all. If gossip sells. In my group hangouts, I've been trying to figure out how to be a little bit less of that. But then I realized, man, this is kind of boring now. Who can I bring up and say, you know what? Can you believe her husband does that? Huh? I'm not saying I'm a shit talker, but I'm entertaining. I'm not. No, I'm being real. I'm being dead ass serious here. Where it's like, you know, oftentimes I don't know if other people do this, but I leave the hangout and I reflect, you know, like, okay, you know, what conversation topics went good? How did I feel like that overall hangout went? Fine. Okay, cool. Move on. Okay. Well, you know, like, am I getting a little redundant on material? Am I cursing a little too much? Am I saying certain words that maybe, you know, aren't really vibing with the crowd? Did this joke work? Did this joke work? And the talking about people thread often works the best, you know, like even like in corporate America. If you have a job in corporate America, what conversation topic works the best? Oh man, isn't that crazy how much all this is bullshit? Can you believe the data team did this? Can you believe the PMs can't keep up with this and that? Oh, bro, I don't know what engineering's doing. Yeah, my manager, man, he's being such a you know, like he's being such a dick. Though that's the shit that you bond with people with. You know, obviously you have a couple shots, you have a couple pints in between that, but that's the stuff that works. You're never going up to your coworkers talking about, man, isn't everything going great? Oh man, I really love the lunches that they provide on Thursday. You know, like what? Who the fuck wants to talk to that? And maybe some people do. My wife has a lot of friends like that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just being more specific to gossip sells. And now what kills me is that I be trying to defend dudes, right? Like as a fellow brethren of the men corpse, I be trying to defend brothers. Now over with like, you know, like it's like she posted on her story about like, this is what be killing me is like when that breakup shit happens, I do understand why you're trying to like probably get at someone's throat. As far as like, oh, he cheated on me, so let me blast him, right? Let me blast him, so then probably other girls down the line know about this. The public perception on him slightly shifts. Maybe people curse him out in public a little bit more, and that's what you're probably looking for if you get cheated on. Is I want this fool to feel some hatred. You know, she posts on her story, and then he goes Instagram live on his boat talking about, I think he mentions this. See, we're getting gossip here, and I'm kind of not a fan of it. But she cheated on me first, so then I cheated. It's like, wait, what? You know, like who cheated on who first? My main thing is that now there's this internet discourse of like this hatred for Klay Thompson. And ladies, I do have a message for you, is that as a group of fellas that enjoy basketball as its art form that it is we will never hate Klay Thompson. We don't give a fuck about Megan Thee Stallion. I don't care. Like I need to be very clear on this whole scam talk that we're talking about this episode. Is I don't care. I don't care who you're dating. I don't care what drugs you're doing behind the scenes. I don't care, what you're into on the side. Obviously I hope you're not doing any of that Diddy stuff, which we didn't talk about Usher talking about. I don't have anything negative to say, but we're just going to brush that under the rug now. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what your hobbies are. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm interested. If you want to share it, I'm interested. But what I care about is the end product. I care about the end product, right? What you bring to the table as a person. Are you entertaining when I'm with you? Is it enjoyable to be with you? Is it enjoyable to have my wife around with you? Or is it just, I really don't care if you have good grades, but are you entertaining? Like you can be the most straight edge person in the world. Cool. You're going to heaven. Thumbs up, brother. But I'm bored every time I'm around you. So which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the guy that's probably stamped his ticket to hell, but he's a little bit cordial. He's nice. He gets a little drunk. He gets a little drunk. Oh, he said the N word. It's okay. It's okay. Am I entertained? I don't care about what's happening behind the scenes with Klay Thompson. I just want my brother back. I want the guy that has scored 37 points in a quarter. I want the guy that has scored 60 points off of 11 dribbles. I want the guy that I thought at once upon a time was better than Steph Curry. I want the guy that literally saved the Golden State Warriors from a 3-1 deficit against OKC. I want the guy that's a 4-time champion. He has 4 rings. Why does he want a 5th one with Megan Thee Stallion? He has 4 rings. 4 championship rings. This guy is a Hall of Famer, top 5 3-point shooter of all time. It's Klay Thompson. Yo, the people that be making clips and shit on CapCut or whatever it is for Klay Thompson, use that audio, please. Use that audio. Klay Thompson is one of the greats, and imagine my joy. Imagine my joy when this guy joins the Dallas Mavericks. The team that I love and I hope to see return to greatness one day. And there's always this feeling in my head where it's like, you know what, this guy, I get it. Towards the end of his Golden State years, he wasn't really being the Klay that I know. But now, there's always a chance. I always believe in second chances. The rebirth might be around the corner. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet. Could I attribute that to him dating Megan Thee Stallion? Maybe. What if he's a better 3-point shooter if he's not dating Megan Thee Stallion? What do you think I'm going to support? I care about the end product. I need my man to be out there getting buckets. These Dallas Mavericks isn't really what he signed up to be with, but it brings a smile to my face every single time I see him hit a 3. And that's all I care about is that 3 coming back. I like some of the Megan Thee Stallion songs, but I like Klay Thompson more. Now, the last thing I want to do is just kind of like check in. Last little May check in before I wrap up the episode is, it is, I think probably this releases May 4th, huh? May the 4th be with you. And then Cinco de Mayo is around the corner. I am going to Vegas in a couple days, so I'm recording this a bit early. Very excited. I'm not going to even lie. The giddiness behind my voice is very excited. Very excited to kick it with the boys. Just be dumb, gamble, drink, hang out. Just be dumb. Be dumb for a little bit and come back and get back to dad duty. How's everyone doing? We're done with 4 months of the year. This shit's kind of flying by. My paternity leave's almost over, and it's kind of slowly been bugging me on a day-to-day of figuring out like what the hell does life look like in 2 months time, in 3 months time. And like it's not, I wouldn't say I'm like super anxious about it, but it's still a matter of like what does it look like? I need to know what that vision is. I'm not someone that really lives on a day-to-day. I like to have this positive outlook about like, oh, this This is what the year holds for me. This is what I hope to accomplish. This is how I can strive towards that. Versus right now, it's like this vague picture. I'm not really enjoying that. But how's your picture? How are you doing on your goals? Don't worry, that 2016 weight will probably, you'll never be back to that. But that's not the point. You guys should have seen me in February. Your boy was buttering on the pounds. I'm starting to get to a better place. And I really do believe, if you can get into this kind of like routine, this habit almost in your early 30s, then I do think it kind of just holds true for probably the rest of your 30s. Obviously, who the fuck do I know? I'm 31 years old. I should probably have someone that's like 37, 38 tell me a little bit more about it. But it really does feel different now getting into these habits versus before. Because now it almost just feels like more discipline. Where it's like, shit, you know what? I really can't eat that slice of pizza because that shit's so painful. I mean, it's enjoyable as hell. Don't get me wrong. You got to just get pepperoni. Just get pepperoni, bro. You don't need all those veggies. You don't need no mushrooms. You don't need to also add sausage. You just need pepperoni. If you want to add jalapenos for a little kick, sure. But that's it. You just need pepperoni, cheese, and a good crust. You don't need to add the meat lover supreme. You don't need to add pineapples or any of that shit. I like pineapples, but still. And it just the discipline now for like, all right, you know what? I don't really want that. I don't really want that. And fighting that urge, that's been the tougher part for me, honestly. The going to the gym part's always the hurdle, but that's been getting a little bit better. But just, man, the resisting the food, the goodness that is America's food can't be beat. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, it's all the scam. Have a good time in this life. Have a good time in this life. It's gonna be May. It's gonna be May. Keep going. Keep going, because this shit doesn't stop. And just be great. If not for you, then in the agency of others. And leave behind something nice. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Viva La Vegas. Do y'all think the Nuggets are coming back? I hope the Rockets win. I hope my boy Klay Thompson returns to the land of glory. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and goodbye.